The culmination of Vipassana meditation is seeing these three characteristics of existence in our body, feeling, perceptions, thought, and consciousness. Three characteristics are in Pali, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, impermanent, dukkha, suffering, anatta, no self. I speak of no self tomorrow. I want to speak today on anicca, impermanence. As I said, impermanence is the crown of insight meditation. If you do anything in the name of insight vipassana meditation, all of them are under these three characteristics, especially anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, and self-will. If you do not see these three things, you are not practicing vipassana meditation. I emphasize it. I emphasize it. Everything is impermanent. I am more qualified to talk about impermanence than any of you, because I have experienced this in my own personal life. I am pretty sure if you reflect on your own life, you might have experienced this impermanence in your life, even if you 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. That long is enough for you to have this insight of impermanence. When you were born, you were not like this. 15, 20 years ago, you were not like this. Now you are like this. You can assess your own life to understand impermanence. You don't ask anybody to tell you anything about impermanence. You already know it. I'm just trying to remind you the fact that you experienced in your life. In order to substantiate this, I want to use Buddha's own teaching, original teaching, not anything added to it later on, in original teaching. When Buddha delivered the first sermon for turning the wheel of Dhamma, one monk among five who paid 100% attention to his teaching concluded yang kinchi samudaya dhamma sabbanta nirodha dhamma. Whatever is of the nature of existence is of the nature of disappearance. Whatever arises, that ceases, doesn't stay for all the time, permanently. And Buddha delivered the same sermon 2 more days. First, remember the first 5 disciples of the Buddha are Ponnanya, Bhadra, Vappa, Mahanama, Asadi. Only Ponnanya saw impermanence very clearly and attain the stream entry. Then Bhadya Vappa remains with the Buddha, and Purnanya Mahanama Siddhi went out to collect alms food for the Buddha and Bhadya Vappa. When they brought the food, they all shared and ate. Buddha continued the same sermon to Bhadya Vappa. And they too saw that everything that comes into existence goes out of existence. That's why impermanence there. And attain the stream entry. Third day, Onanya, Bhadya, Vappa, three of them went out to collect food for the Buddha, Mahanama and Assaji. So Buddha was delivering the sermon to Mahanama and Assaji. And they too attain the same state of enlightenment by seeing impermanence. Whatever comes into existence, and then goes out of existence. Whatever comes into existence goes out of existence. You have to see this with deep wisdom, not superficially. And they all five attain the stream entry. This is recorded in the Buddha's teaching. Now, Buddha all his life, 45 years teaching, he taught this truth again and again and again in different forms. In Four Noble Truth, Noble Eightfold Path, and so on. Now, this is the discourse that I selected one discourse out of all these 84,000 sermons to give a short talk today. I selected this. What I selected discourse called Perception of Impermanence. Perception of Impermanence. You find it in Samyutta Nikaya. Connected discourses. At Savatthi, Buddha said, because when the perception of impermanence is developed and cultivated, remember these two words, developed and cultivated. That means you have to repeat it again and again and again to cultivate it. Then Buddha said, it eliminates all sensual lust. All sensual lust. What is the sensual lust? Lust that arises through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. Lust arises. I have repeatedly mentioned in the past, from the Buddha's own discourse, there are 60 moments every day in our life for lust to arise. 10 through the eye, 10 through the ear, 10 through the nose, 10 through the tongue, 10 through the body, 10 through the mind. These are 6 senses, and 10 arise from each. You multiply by 10 by 6, you get 60 moment for sensual lust to arise. When you practice this knowledge, perception of impermanence, again and again and again, that lust will disappear, eliminate. I don't think you like to do that. I don't think you like to eliminate all your lust, but that is what will happen. Eventually, you want to do it even if you don't want to do it now. If you want to live a peaceful life, that is exactly what you have to do, even though you don't like it. Because you experience in your own life how much suffering you have because of sensual lust. You know that. And Buddha said it eliminates all sensual lust. It eliminates all lust for existence. Bhavana, bhava. You know, we have lust only for this life, but we continue our lust in the future. That's called bhavaraga, becoming, lust for becoming. We will become another doing, another person after our death. Whether you believe it or not, that is what will happen. To deny that you should know everything in the universe, I don't assume anybody knows everything in the universe. Nobody. And the third is it eliminates all ignorance, sensual lust for existence, lust, and eliminate all ignorance. When we see, practice, and experience impermanence on nature, our ignorance will disappear. What is the ignorance? Ignorance is not seeing the Four Noble Truth. Not knowing the Four Noble Truth is called ignorance. No matter how many other things we know, we still remain ignorant until we see the Four Noble Truth perfectly clearly. When we practice mindfulness or impermanence, or have perception of impermanence, that ignorance of Four Noble Truth also will vanish. Because the Four Noble Truth, impermanence is one of the factors of the Four Noble Truth. And then it uproots all conceit, I am, mana, mana. 9 kinds of mana. Mana means measure. How we measure? I measure with you. That means I use myself to measure or compare me with you. Therefore, I use myself as a measurement. I am such and such, you are such and such. I am so much tall, you are so much tall. I have so much achievement, you have so much achievement, and so forth. So that is what is called conceit. Now, that is not something wholesome, and therefore it is always get in our way. It uproots all conceits I am. And Buddha said, when you practice, when you have the perception of impermanence, Buddha gave 10 similes. 10 similes to illustrate this, explain it. When we use the similes, the meaning becomes very easy for us to understand. Just as because in the autumn, a plowman plowing with a great plowshare cut through all rootlets, and as she plows, so too, when the perception of impermanence is developed and cultivated, it destroys all the lust. When the plowman using a plow to plow a land to make it loose so that he can sow seeds, he doesn't want to leave any roots in the field. We have to destroy them. So as he keeps plowing, all the roots of grass will be uprooted so that he can sow the seeds and have good harvest. Similarly, when we perceive impermanence, the mind becomes so clear, mind will not hold on to anything permanent, thinking that something permanent is a wrong view. That wrong view will totally disappear when we see the truth of impermanence. And then our understanding of Dhamma becomes very profitable. Understanding Dhamma will be profitable only when we eliminate this notion, wrong view of something permanent. Second simile, just as the bhikkhu, a rush cutter, would cut down the rush, drag it by the top, and shake it down and shake it out. The stump, and shake it out, the stump it about. So he cut the rush is a kind of plant that grow to prevent soil erosion. And you want to remove it, so he will cut it, take it and shake and throw away. He shake it and throw away. So that the root will no longer be there. So that he can sow the seed. Similarly, when the person sees impermanence, anicca, perceived very clearly, there is no any scruple of doubt in the mind of something permanent, not something everything will be eliminated from its mind. All the lust of sensual pleasures, all the lust of becoming, all ignorance, and the notion of I will disappear, asmiman, disappear. Third simile Buddha gave there is just as the bhikkhu when a stalk of brush of mangoes has cut and all the mangoes attached to the stalk follow along with it. There is a one stalk and 5, 6 mangoes hanging on it. You cut one first stalk and all the mangoes hung on the stalk will fall. Then you cut the main one, all fall. Similarly, Buddha said, similarly, when we develop the perception of impermanence, all the sensual lust, all the lust for existence, all ignorance, all conceit will disappear. He gave four things: lust for sense, lust for becoming, ignorance, and conceit. All will disappear. Yet you have to do only one thing. What is that? Perceive impermanence. Perceive impermanence. You know, understanding is one thing, perception is another. Perception is far more practical, important than even understanding. Understanding can be intellectual, through theories, through logic, through thinking. Perception is direct, like shooting an arrow. And that is why Buddha used the perception. There are 10 perceptions Buddha explained in Girimananda Sutta. Number one there is Anicca Sanya, Ananta Sanya, Asura Sanya, Adinava Sanya, Bhavana Sanya, Virana Sanya, Nirvana Sanya, Nirvana Sanya. Then what is Sanya? Anapanasati. All these are Sanyas, perceptions. And Buddha used the word perception particularly in order to convey the message of directness. Directness. And therefore, see the simile of cutting a stalk of bunch of mango. All mangoes will fall. Similarly, when we perceive things directly, when you come into contact with something directly, you don't need somebody's advice, you don't need something to read, but you know it. So we perceive it in our own life. Impermanence we perceive in our life. And that is why I said we don't have somebody to tell us what has happened to us, what is happening to us. Because we directly perceive it. That is most important insight that we gain from Vipassana meditation. This is an instruction on Vipassana meditation in a different way. Then he says, just as because all the rafters of a house with the peak roof lead to the roof peak, slope towards the roof peak, and converge upon the roof, upon the roof peak roof. Now this, all the rafters going to the main peak. So all our sensual lust, becoming, ignorance, conceit, all connected to our perception of impermanence. When the perception of impermanence is cut, or through the perception of impermanent we cut lust, all the rafters cut our uh, becoming, ignorance, conceit, all will drop, disappear. This is a very beautiful simile, powerful simile. The roof, big roof. And then Buddha said, because as among fragrant roots, black orish is declared to be the chief. I don't know what this fruit is. It is the fragrant fruits. Among all of them, orange, black orange, is the most fragrant fruit. All other roots become inferior, and this becomes the chief of all. Similarly, when you perceive the impermanence, then that is the highest and the best of all. That's what I said at the beginning. In insight meditation, vipassana meditation, crown, peak, culmination is perception of impermanence. Anicca sanya, anicca. And then another simile, just as among fragrant hard woods, red sandalwood is declared to be the highest. You know, sandalwoods, among all the trees, sandalwood trees, fragrance is the highest. Among flowers, jasmine flowers is the sweetest. Similarly, perception of impermanence is the highest of all of them. And that is why it destroys lust for sensual pleasure, lust for existence, ignorance, and conceit. Friends, conceit is the stumbling block to our progress. Then all the rulers, kings, universal monarch is the chief. Some people think that they are universal monarchs, that's why they try to capture other countries, dictate terms to other countries. But universal monarch is the one who can rule the whole world without threatening anybody, bringing peace to everybody, without any war. And that is the highest and greatest, noblest king, called universal monarch, Chakravarti in Pali. Chakravarti. So, it is said that when Siddhartha was born, people, what do you call, fortune tellers came and some said he either become universal monarch or supreme enlightened Buddha. Supreme enlightened Buddha also declared peace to the world, bring peace, promote peace, give peace, constantly peaceful. Universal monarch also is like that. Live in peace, bring peace, promote peace, advise peace to live peacefully. So he said, therefore, he is the greatest. Then, because among radiance, the radiance of all the stars does not amount to a 16th part of the radiance of the moon. When you say moon is shining on full moon day, it, it dominates all the stars' radiance. It is the brightest star in the sky, planet. Similarly, the awareness of perception of impermanence dominate all other practices because it is the notion of permanency that makes our life very uncomfortable. We become greedy, thinking that we don't die. We continue to hate, thinking that we do not die. We remain jealous. We want to hurt people. We want to kill others, steal others' properties, thinking that we don't die. If we know impermanence and perceive it very clearly, we think after all we all die, after all we all get old, after all we also fall sick. So we become ourselves humble, simple, and therefore perception of impermanence is so important. It dominates all other practices. And then uh, just as this is the most important of all of them. Just as it was in the autumn when the sky is clear and cloudless, the sun ascending in the sky dispels all darkness from space as it shines and brilliates and radiates. Now, as we all know, in autumn or in the fall, when all the leaves on trees are fallen, trees remain barren without leaves, and that time when there are no clouds in the sky, when the sun rises, it dominates all other light. So people with good, any living being with good eyesight can see anything visible, anything. Tiny little things if their eyes are not sick, natural, good eyes, even tiny little things they can see when the sun shines. Similarly, Buddha said, when the perception of impermanence is developed and cultivated, it eliminates all sensual lust, it eliminates all lust for existence, it eliminates all ignorance, it uproots all conceit I am. Each simile illustrates the power, importance of perception of impermanence. Anicca. As I mentioned in this at the beginning, in this retreat, we want to emphasize these three characteristics of existence. Friends, these are absolutely important things because we all know we are changing. We are changing. We are changing inside ourselves and we are changing outside. When inside changes, uh, go on for a certain period of time, then that expresses through outside. Expresses. How does it express? All of a sudden you see gray hair. You don't like that. You want to use color to make it look like young black hair. If possible, you can pull it. You don't know to accept it. Inside change expressed to our ears. He said, when you use the hearing aid, I have it, but not I'm wearing it now. Occasionally I wear it when it's necessary. Because I cannot hear. Inside changes expressed to our ear. Inside changes expressed to our nose. Our smell is not as good as when we were young. Inside changes expressed to our tongue. We lose our taste buds, and as we grow, we cannot taste the same thing as we used to taste when we were young. No hungry, no hunger, no appetite, they say. So, another very popular common inside change that expresses through outside, through our body, is wrinkled skin. This skin was shining, oily, beautiful. Now, lot of wrinkles. Face, shining, smooth. Face has wrinkles. Teeth, shaking. So, perception of impermanence is expressed everywhere in our life. Buddha was not trying to hide anything. Buddha was so perfectly enlightened, he wanted us to see what is happening to us. What is the big deal of that? What is the purpose of knowing all this? In order to live this life peacefully and happily, accepting what is happening to us, accepting what the life gives to us. Can we go back? I like to go 20 years younger. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. None of you can do that. Accepting is better than fighting. Join when you cannot fight. Accepting. And therefore, friends, this perception of impermanence is absolutely necessary for our peaceful living. With this, I want to end this morning talk, and I hope you may not be disappointed to hear the truth. Rather, I wish you all will be very happy to hear the truth and accept the truth, live by the truth, be very, very healthy, peaceful, mindful people. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu